Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Here today to discuss the AEW Dynamite December 2nd, 2020 review for this piece of fucking shit. This show sucked. First time ever, I'm actually pissed. No, the show wasn't dull and boring and illogical booking. It just was the fucking shittiest ending to a Dynamite episode I've ever seen. You got Don Callis, the vice president of Impact Wrestling, and they use Don Callis now as supposedly a manager to Kenny Omega as a way of helping Impact Wrestling to gain viewership on Access TV. That's right, folks. The AEW World Champion is lowering himself, degrading himself to appear on Impact Wrestling. Are you fucking kidding me? This is by far the worst decision I have ever seen in my life. It made sense, don't get me wrong. Don Callis being on AEW Dynamite as Kenny Omega's manager was one thing, but when he came out at the end of that show and was interviewed by one of the backstage reporters asking him why did he do what he did, and he says, you'll find out on Tuesday night. And he goes, the reporter says, well, Dynamite's on Wednesday nights. And he announces that he's going to be on Impact Wrestling on Access TV. I don't get this. What the fuck does AEW gain by partnershiping with fucking Impact Wrestling? Like, this is terrible. I absolutely hated that. It was bad enough. I got a fucking headache right now. And I haven't had a good day. And I was hoping to see, a nice matchup, a close to the show, maybe Kenny Omega cheating, but to appear on Impact Wrestling? What the fuck kind of... I can go on Impact on Twitch to watch Impact Wrestling. I don't even need Access TV. And they're a fucking channel that's very hard to come by. I think you have to have a special channel package with your provider in order to get Access TV. Who the fuck gives a shit? This show was trash because of that ending. I absolutely hated it. What a fucking load of crap. 2 hours of wrestling. I was expecting a nice ending to the show. Even if Kenny Omega cheated, fine, okay, great. But to announce that he's going to appear with the AEW World Championship on Impact Wrestling, that is fucking retarded. AEW doesn't need Impact Wrestling. Now, if you wanted to say Kenny Omega was going to appear on New Japan Wrestling, that's one thing. But for him to appear on fucking Impact Wrestling? That's fucking garbage. Who the fuck gives a shit? I know I sure as hell don't. What a load of garbage. And I'll tell you the truth, guys. I've tried many a times to actually do a review on Impact Wrestling, and I just can't do it. No, they're not as terrible as Raw or SmackDown, but they're stale, boring as fuck. And they don't have any big names on the show. Now, you may say to me, hey, wait a second, Raw and SmackDown's no different than Impact Wrestling. What the fuck are you talking about? They have bigger stars, bigger wrestlers, great wrestlers that can do things that make Impact Wrestling roster look fucking pathetic. They got Ricochet. They got fucking Cedric Alexander. They got a list of great guys, and the only reason why they're terrible is because of the fucking creative, not because of their in-ring talent. The roster on Impact Wrestling they can't even light a candle to the WWE's roster of talent they got on that fucking, in that company. And Kenny Omega, he is far above all the wrestlers in Impact Wrestling. I am sorry to say, but he's the best wrestler on the fucking show, and he ain't even on their show. I just cannot believe this crap. This is garbage. A way of going ahead and selling a low-grade piece of crap wrestling company that at one time was doing things that most companies couldn't do. They were working from the ground up. They were doing decent. They were getting themselves off the ground with what they had. And Spike TV kept them on for a very long time, from 2005 all the way up to 2014. Maybe even, no, 2014 was their last year. They were on there for almost 10 years on Spike TV, now known as Paramount Television. I mean, that is fucking terrible. And the only reason why they fell apart is they tried to compete with WWE Raw, in which case back then, Raw was way, way better than they are now. Way better. And that was even in the beginning stages of the time that they were just turning into crap. That was in 2010. This show was okay, but that main event, for me, it sucked. The ending sucked because of what Don Callis said. He's going to appear on Impact Wrestling with the AEW World Championship. Why? What does AEW need to do with Impact Wrestling? What are they going to gain by partnershiping with Impact Wrestling? Who the fuck cares? AEW would benefit more if they were partnership with New Japan Wrestling. I am sorry to say, but this is a terrible fucking move. I'd have even been okay with him appearing on fucking NWA. NWA has way better fucking wrestlers than Impact Wrestling. I'm sorry. They got that old school 80s, 70 type feel to them, like when Ric Flair was wrestling back in the day when he was in his prime of his career. I mean, they have that old school look, and they wrestle like old school wrestlers. These guys suck. Impact Wrestling. Give me a fucking break. There's a couple of guys on there that are like Eddie Edwards. He's one of them. Fucking Sammy Callahan. Absolutely love him, but he's a hardcore wrestler. The rest of them, who gives a shit? Jordan Grace, she's awesome. Gotta give her credit. She's an awesome female wrestler that I have said many a times belongs on AEW's female wrestling roster. She do wonders for that group. There's a couple of them that are good. The rest of them are trash. They're garbage. They don't belong in a ring. They're not all that great, and they're not all that put out to be. Okay? I mean, they got elderly guys like fucking Ken Shamrock performing in that fucking show, and they got Rob Van Dam. Give me a fucking break. What's next? They're gonna have Sting show up? Oh, by the way, Sting did show up here on AEW Dynamite. I will say this. It was cool to see him on TNT, but I hope he's not deciding to perform in the ring. Because, quite frankly, his run in WWE was downright dreadful and terrible. Because that was a load of fucking bullshit what they did with him in WWE. And I don't know. The rest of the show is just your typical ordinary AEW show. My God. I mean, I might be in the minority on this. And I just might be. I'm just saying. I expect possibly to be in the minority on this. And if that's the case, that's fine. I don't care. But quite frankly, I don't give a shit. This is fucking bullshit. Lowering and degrading the AEW World Championship by having it show up on Impact Wrestling? What the fuck? You gotta be out of your goddamn mind. Alright, let's just kickstart the review and just go over this shit. Because I got a splitting headache and I'm really fucking pissed off. Dynamite Diamond Battle Royale. This was fucking dumb as shit. The concept of this match is the winner of last year's Dynamite Diamond Ring was MJF. Yet he's appearing in the tournament, the actual Battle Royal. And if he happens to eliminate everybody and be the last one standing, he then gets to be the champion still. As if he's defending his reign. And if he can eliminate and be the last one standing, then he's actually in the thing. But here's the thing. Actually, no, that's not the concept. I'm sorry. I'm messing that up. There's supposed to be 2 final people in the match. And then next week, they're supposed to go one-on-one. MJF being one of them, which I don't understand why they just didn't have this. Why didn't they have MJF out of the Battle Royal, have everyone compete in that Battle Royal, and then at that point, the winner of that Battle Royal would face MJF next week. That to me would have been more reasonable to do. This was just fucking stupid. They had Orange Cassidy be one of the guys that are going to face MJF. So MJF and Orange Cassidy are facing each other next week for the Dynamite ring. I hope that match turns out good, and I hope MJF gets his ass kicked, because later on in this show, he absolutely pissed me off, and they fucked him up big time, because they're already fucking doing this right out of the gate. They're not working their way into it. They're just shooting right into this breakup of the inner circle. I think this is fucking stupid as well. There's been some things on this show tonight that just really pissed me off, but that ending of that fucking match, of the main event of this match, really took me for a loop. I just couldn't believe it. We had Chris Jericho with Jake Hager and Ortiz by his side versus Frankie Kazarian. This matchup was fun as fuck, but the problem was MJF showed up. He showed up with a towel. He wanted to throw the towel in like he did at Cody Rhodes against Chris Jericho for the World Heavyweight Championship last year. And Frankie Kazarian actually had him in the walls of Jericho. Had Chris Jericho in the walls of Jericho. So Jericho's trying to reach for the ropes. MJF runs out. He's acting like he's going to throw in the towel. And Sammy Guevara, I have started to like this guy since MJF has showed up into this group. It made me get a lot of respect. Out of everything that's going on with this storyline, I absolutely love the fact that they're making Sammy Guevara look like a tough and a guy that's taking charge. I really like that, and he's just acting more like a stand-up guy. I don't know if that has to do with the fact of his confrontations and matches that he's had with Matt Hardy that's changed this Sammy Guevara's character, or just because he don't like MJF. And if that's the case, that's fine with me. I don't care one way or another. But it has brought out some good characteristics of Sammy Guevara. He's not some little punk-ass bitch anymore. He's a guy that's showing up. He really cares about this faction. And he really, truly looks at his group as a bunch of friends that he cares about. And MJF is just trying to break this whole team apart. So MJF tries to throw in the towel, but Sammy Guevara shows up, grabs the towel from him. But when Jericho reaches for the ropes, Jericho sees Sammy Guevara holding the towel up in the air in his hand. So he's got a little suspicion that Guevara was going to try to throw in the towel, which was not the case at all. But Jericho managed to win the match anyway, did the Judas effect back elbow on Frankie Kazarian, and got the 1-2-3 in a very clean ending, which I thought was probably the best match on the entire card, to be quite frank with you. So yeah, Jericho wins this match, and at the end of it, they have a kind of a little issue. So Jericho makes pretty much an announcement that next week there's going to be an ultimatum for the Inner Circle. They're going to sit back, have 7 days to think about things. Do they want to continue this group of the Inner Circle, or are they just going to break it all up and forget about it and be done with it? That's what they're doing. They're not doing anything extraordinarily interesting. They're kind of like acting as a band, as like some kind of rock band. Okay, we've decided we're done. It's over. We're fucking done. Inner Circle's over, and blah, blah, blah. That's kind of like how Jericho's doing this, is making like they're a rock band, and they've decided to break up. That's all they're doing. Not, MJF making the entire group turn on Jericho, and then slowly but surely they start to break apart individually. We see this all going to happen at once. That's probably a possibility, or we may see them stay together still, but as time goes on, they're going to break up anyway. That's probably the case. But I don't like the idea of MJF being in this group. I think the Inner Circle belong together. They come across as genuine friends. This is not exactly what you call your typical, faction where everyone just, is just there to be there to help each other out and become bigger stars. I really see them as genuine friends and, working together for a common goal, and they're all a team and everyone supports each other. Like, Evolution should have been that way. With Randy Orton, Batista, Ric Flair, and Triple H. I think that Evolution shouldn't have really broke up. I think Triple H should have been able to take a step back. It would have made Triple H's character look a lot better as a person. Randy Orton reigning as world champion for a period of time, and then Batista doing it. Triple H was world champion at that time, and Batista and Triple H could have just said, let's do it, let's compete, and them actually staying as a group. I'd like to see that. And eventually, at some point, they both get worn out, they both get, they all get tired, and they just slowly diminish from each other and just call it quits. That's what I was kind of hoping with this. This is seeming like it's coming across as an abrupt end, and it's just going to be like either they're going to break apart down the road or they're going to break apart next week. I don't know. I think it's trash. Brett Baker versus Layla Hirsch. Layla Hirsch. She's a great amateur wrestler. She's really good in the ring. She displays real wrestling ability. Why is she losing to Brett Baker, and why the fuck does Layla Hirsch have a 1-3 record? This is ridiculous. Really, this is pathetic. But Brett Baker wins. She now made Layla Hirsch 1-3 on her overall record. Great, wonderful. All right. Darby Allin and Cody going up against Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. Darby Allin picked up a victory here for his team with the coffin drop off the top rope. The in-ring action was pretty much similar to the last tag team match they had 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think it was better with Brian Cage than Powerhouse Hobbs. So yeah, that's pretty much my overall opinion on that. Taz and his group get in the ring. They're making them look dominant after they just lost. But why? Why are you doing that? Outside of the fact that they bring Sting into the middle of the mix. While they're getting pounded on, the lights go out. We see the screen pop up with the name Sting on it. And out pops Sting with snow coming down at the entranceway and blah, blah, blah. Sting doesn't really make any mention or discuss anything. He's announced that next week he will be speaking for why he is there in AEW. We all know what this is leading to. Either one or two things are going to happen. He's actually going to be an in-ring performer, or he's going to mentor a young talent. Now, him mentoring fucking Darby Allin, which kind of looked at him and was like, hey, kind of gave him this look like half of your face is painted and the other half isn't. It seemed like he was kind of intrigued by that. Like he found it very unique and different. I think Sting and Darby Allin would be a nice mix. And I think Darby Allin having Sting as a mentor / manager, I think would work out very well. But Sting as an in-ring performer, I really hope that does not happen. They don't need older performers showing up and actually wrestling, taking away the young talent's ability to, actually shine and become main eventers and become something more than just mid-card wrestlers. But, hey, it is what it is. I try not to get emotionally involved in this shit, but the one thing that I will admit, the last thing on this card was the thing with Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega. The match was good. The match wasn't that bad. If it wasn't for the ending being the way it was, not the screwjob finish, but the whole situation with Kenny going to Impact Wrestling, which, again, I still don't quite understand. The match was pretty damn good. It was a very decent main event. I mean, I'd say it was a 4 out of 5 stars until that ending. And, Kenny Omega hit him over the head with a microphone. Don Callis. The funniest thing is, my dad, we're sitting there, we're watching the main event. My dad, after tonight, my dad's fucking done with AEW. He really is sick of it. He doesn't see the difference between AEW and WWE at this point. But yeah, he's going ahead and he's sitting there. He sees Don Callis, and he doesn't even know who fucking Don Callis is. I tell him who Don Callis is. He's the executive president of Impact Wrestling. He's just there to announce the match for Kenny Omega's match because he was invited by Kenny. I didn't think that they would even do something like this. I really didn't. And my dad said, that guy's going to get involved in this match and cost Jon Moxley the world title. And I said, no. He runs Impact Wrestling. He's just there for an invite by Kenny Omega. And they turned this into a fucking actual storyline. What a fucking load of shit. I mean, Don Callis being with Kenny Omega, doing a storyline with Kenny Omega as a manager on AEW Dynamite's one thing, but then when you're dragging the AEW World Champion to a garbage shithole known as Impact Wrestling, which legitimately do not have any fans, nothing there at all, except an empty fucking arena with no one there to cheer. There's no piped-in even noise. There's even no piped-in noise. It's a dead atmosphere. And that's what you're going to drag your world champion to? A fucking dead atmosphere? AEW World Champion in a dead atmosphere with no fucking sound around him. Making it feel like a legit show. My God. That's fucking pathetic. Maybe I'm getting a little crazy over the fact that he's showing up in Impact Wrestling with no fans. But my God, Impact Wrestling, really? I mean, you couldn't think of New Japan Wrestling? Shit. My God, man, you gotta be out of your fucking mind. I'm sorry, guys. I know I've been ranting about majority of this entire review on the fucking World Championship, but this is just god-awful garbage. I'm sorry. I do not accept this. I have no problem with screwjob finishes. I know that's part of the show. I know sometimes that's part of a heel role. But when you take a world champion on a multi-billion-dollar company run by Tony Khan and allow your world champion to go on a fucking nothing show like Impact Wrestling, you're just devaluing the fucking AEW World Championship. Bottom line. There is no need or reason to have your world champion on a low-grade television show that hardly nobody can get access to unless they watch it on Twitch. In which case, they don't even get viewership on Twitch added to their viewership when they're shown on Access TV. That's pathetic. Fucking pathetic. I mean, let me just put it to you this way, guys. You don't even have to watch it on Twitch. All you have to do is have a subscription for $7.99 with Impact Plus, and you can watch it on the weekend and catch the entire episode. You don't even fucking have to watch it on Twitch, and you get to skip all the commercials, no commercial breaks, and it goes all the way through for an hour and hour 25 to an hour and 30 minutes. And you save all that time. And not to mention, you can skip any kind of shit you're not interested in. What a fucking joke. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much the overall review. I ain't got much to say about this. This was very disappointing. I might be in the minority, and if that's the case, that's fine. I'm okay with being a minority in this situation because I clearly can see this was a bad decision. I think it's a devalue to AEW's World Championship, and I just think this is garbage. Anyway, guys, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below, and I'll definitely get back to you on that. And I thank you very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. Bye.